What's up, guys? Welcome to this SGN podcast. I'm your host, Diego Call, and we have a big one for you today. It's going to be the predictions for the UEFA Champions League final between Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur, and I'm extremely excited for this match, but I'm also extremely nervous because obviously, being a Manchester United fan, I kind of have to root for Tottenham with all my heart and hope and pray that they manage to upset the Reds. Unfortunately, this is going to be a very, very tough task, and I will kind of break this down a little bit better later on, but I think that we can kind of draw a few things from what we saw between Chelsea and Arsenal. Of course, those are two clubs from the same league, which means that they play against each other at least twice, potentially between the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. They can potentially play against each other, 4 to 5 times, depending if there's a replay or not. So we're talking about clubs that know each other very, very well, and that's one of the interesting things about this matchup is these are two clubs that play against each other constantly, and they also have a pretty similar style of football. Of course, they are different in some ways, but they have a lot of similarities. So it's going to be very interesting to see which manager can get the tactical advantage in the key areas of the pitch. I think that the biggest factor here is the fact that neither team is particularly good at defending. Now, Liverpool with Van Dijk have improved exponentially since he arrived, but realistically, they still leave quite a few holes. Trent Alexander-Arnold gets a lot of credit. Robertson gets a lot of credit as well. But realistically, this is still a team that does leave a lot of space in behind. If you counterattack them efficiently, then you could put them in a lot of trouble. So I think that, this is going to be an interesting match because Tottenham aren't necessarily the team that I look and think, okay, this is going to be the team that's going to beat Liverpool. But they do have the possibility of doing so. They also have a very similar issue in the sense that their center backs are very good. Vertonghen and Alderweireld are two very, very good center backs. They're very experienced, and they've been there and they've done that at the top level in the sport. Unfortunately, they have a couple of fullbacks alongside them, regardless of who's playing. Whether it's Danny Rose, whether it's Trippier, whether it's Aurier, they're all good fullbacks. But they're all very offensive fullbacks who can definitely leave a lot of space in behind. And you can't really be doing that against a team like Liverpool who has Mo Salah. They have Firmino if he plays. They have just incredible talent. Offensively, they're just insanely dangerous. And you have to, of course, deal with, in my opinion, their best player, by far, and offensively at least, is Sadio Mane. I think he's by far the best player they have offensively. And, of course, then you have to take into consideration that, like I said, defensively they have an absolute beast who is arguably the best center back in the world right now in Virgil van Dijk. The way he has completely changed Liverpool's defense since going to the Reds has just been insane. We were used to seeing Lovren and Matip at the center defense, and everything was going in. It was just, on a consistent basis, Liverpool would concede 3 to 4 goals per match, and it was insane. And unfortunately, ever since Van Dijk's been there, it's been a completely different story, and that's the main reason why they came so close to winning the title this year in the Premier League. Regardless, who do I think is going to win this match? Well, like I said, I think it's going to really be between which manager can exploit the opposing manager's weaknesses because they have very similar weaknesses. So, is Jurgen Klopp going to do what he usually does in finals, which is play the exact same way he always does and go a bit too balls to the wall? If he does that, then there is a good chance that Tottenham are going to be able to exploit it and they're going to beat them. Because on the counterattack, there are very few teams in the world right now that are better than Tottenham with, of course, Heung-min Son, with Kane, who is devastating in the box. You have Dele Alli, you have Christian Eriksen, who's one of the best cams in the game. You have Lucas Moura, who's in the form of his life. Coming off the bench, you have a dangerous guy like Fernando Llorente, who isn't a great player anymore, but he still has that presence and that tactical awareness to get himself in the right positions to be very, very dangerous late in the game. So Tottenham have all the tools to upset Liverpool and win their first Champions League final. Are they going to do it? Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think that this is the time that Liverpool are going to win because it's now or never. It's now or never. It's now or never right now because let's just take into consideration the players that each team has. All right, goalkeeper wise, it's very, very tough because Alisson has proven this season to be a very, very good goalkeeper, but I still give the edge to Hugo Lloris. I think that he's proven with a more difficult team I guess you could say an easier team to score against. He's proven time and time again to be that elite goalkeeper, and this season he was arguably the best goalkeeper in the league. I think it's kind of weird that he wasn't because of. I guess I can understand why he wasn't in the team of the season in FIFA because, of course, City and Liverpool conceded a lot less goals than in Tottenham, and they, of course, were first and second in the league. But at the same time, I think you have to take into consideration what the actual keeper does. And I just think that, performance-wise, Hugo Lloris, is definitely a top goalkeeper. And I would say he's still above Alisson for what he's proven to have done throughout his career. Defensive-wise, like I said, if we're just judging based on the best player in defense, then Virgil van Dijk is by far the best. But I think that overall, when it comes to center backs, Tottenham might be a little bit above because Vertonghen is very, very good. Like I said, and Alderweireld is also very good. I think that those two center backs as a pair is definitely better than Van Dijk plus Lovren or Van Dijk plus Matip, depending on who plays. Fullbacks, I definitely have to give the edge to Liverpool. I think that Alexander-Arnold has proven to be one of the best young fullbacks in the game and arguably one of the best fullbacks in the game in general. And Robertson has definitely shown a few times here and there that he can be a very, very good player, and he has actually had a very good season. So I think that he has a lot of growth there for the young Scotsman. And I think that when it comes to midfield, this might be where the match is going to be won and lost because offensively, both teams are very dangerous. Offensively, it's going to be more a matter of which defense leaves the most space and which defense makes the most mistakes. But in midfield, you look at the players that Tottenham have. All right, I'm assuming they're going to be playing a 4-2-3-1. Okay, either that's going to be a 4-3-3, one or the other. I would assume so at least. So I would assume that's going to be in goal Lloris, Vertonghen and Alderweireld, the center backs, probably Rose and Trippier, and then maybe I would have to say that's probably the most likely. In midfield, I would have to say, actually, maybe Rose is actually out. I can't remember if Rose is going to be skipping this game or not. If he's available, he's going to be playing. If not, then they'll figure something out. Probably Davis or Aurier. I can't remember who exactly is available among the fullbacks. I'm having a blank right now. But regardless, I think that in midfield, it will probably be a 4-2-3-1. I think it's going to try to be a little bit more conservative for Spurs. And I think that in midfield, we're probably going to see Moussa Sissoko. And I think that we might see, or we probably will see actually, I'm going to go with a 4-3-3. I think they might play a 4-3-3 just to make things easier for me to put them all together tactically. The defense is the one I already said. I think that in midfield we'll see Dele Alli alongside Moussa Sissoko. The cam will be Christian Eriksen. On the left we'll see Heung-min Son. On the right we'll see Lucas Moura. And up front we'll see the big man Harry Kane. And of course that's a very, very good team. And then of course you look at Liverpool's. I think that the defense, the keeper of course will be Alisson. Left back Robertson. Center backs will be Van Dijk plus Lovren / Matip. On the right, we'll see Alexander-Arnold. And then in midfield, I think we're going to see Wijnaldum because he had a phenomenal season. He really has had a phenomenal season. Fabinho has come back, but I'm wondering if he's going to play. I think he probably won't. I think that Jordan Henderson will play because, of course, he is the captain and he's been there all season long. And he's had a pretty good season in his own right. He's not an amazing player. He's not even that great of a player, but he's definitely one of those guys that you can trust to work his ass off, and he's always going to put in a shift. And of course, in these kind of matches, that's very, very important. I think they're probably going to play, like I said, a 4-3-3. So I think that the cam will be Wijnaldum. I think it'll be Jordan Henderson. And I will actually say, I think Fabinho might have a chance. I think that he might have a chance here in getting a game because he is a very, very good player, and he gives them a lot of balance in midfield. So if he's fit, I think he will play. When it comes to... So let's say Henderson and Fabinho as the CDMs, and the cam will be Wijnaldum. On the right, of course, Salah. On the left, of course, Mane. And if fit, I think they'll play Firmino. But me personally, I would play Origi. I think that he's shown over the past few important matches that he gives them something that Firmino doesn't give them. And Firmino is a very good player, don't get me wrong, but there's something about what Origi brings to the team as a true all-out striker that Firmino simply can't do. He's a great false nine, but he's no front man. He's no true striker. And I think that Origi gives them something off as a starter, and I think that we'll see what happens with Firmino because I think he was injured. So I think if he's fit, then due to loyalty reasons and the fact that he's been there for the most of the season playing really well, then I think that Klopp will give him a start. But me personally, if I was Jurgen Klopp, I would go with Origi this game to give somebody that can actually hold up play as well and give him an alternative to what maybe Tottenham are used to having to defend against. But if you look man to man, this is very evenly matched because you figure Tottenham probably have one of the two better center backs, whereas Liverpool also has one of the two better center backs. So I'll say that in defense, Liverpool are slightly better, but Tottenham are definitely right there. In midfield, I would say Tottenham are arguably better. I would say that they're quite a bit better. Not because Fabinho's not good or not because Henderson's not good, but I think that if you look at what Sissoko can bring to the table, you see what Eriksen can bring to the table, and Ali, they're all players that put in a great effort both offensively and defensively, but are also all three very capable on both ends of the pitch. So I think that all three of those players would definitely fit into Liverpool's midfield. When it comes to the offensive group, I guess you have to say Salah is definitely better than Salah and Mane. I would say are probably both, as of right now, better than the two wingers that Tottenham have in Son and of course in Lucas Moura. But as a striker, I think there's no doubt that Harry Kane is better. I mean, he's just light years better, and we'll have to see, how fit he is, because of course he is coming off of a bad injury. So we'll see what kind of shape he's in, if he's ready for this match, and hopefully he will be. I mean, regardless of who you're rooting for, I think that this match has all the tools to be one of the best Champions League finals of all time, and possibly the best we've seen in this decade. I would say probably, man, I don't know, what was the last great one? What was the last truly great one? I can't really think of a phenomenal Champions League final, but this could definitely be the best one, because these are two teams that know each other very well, and these are two teams that play very, very offensive football and leave a lot of holes defensively. So this game promises goals, it promises tension, it promises intrigue, and it's just going to be a phenomenal match in my opinion. And of course, I am hoping that Tottenham win, but unfortunately here I have to decide between listening to my brain or listening to my heart. And because listening to your heart is usually the wrong answer, I would say I'm going to have to listen to my brain, and I will go with a Liverpool win by 3-2. I will say 3-2, and I think it might be a late winner for Liverpool. Unfortunately, that might happen, but if I had to choose an ideal scenario, then I would like to see Tottenham destroy them 5-0, but it's not going to happen. I would love it if it does, but it's just not going to happen. I have to be realistic, especially after the shit show that was my Arsenal prediction. I need to get one right to build up any kind of semblance of credibility going into the Copa America. And hopefully you guys will definitely tune in to any other coverage I will be having of all things, sports, whether it's football, MMA, NBA. I'll have a lot of stuff coming to you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So that's my prediction. Liverpool winning 3-2 with a late goal. I don't know who the scorers are. That's kind of hard to pick. If I had to pick two players, or at least let me put it this way. If I had to pick one player to score for each team, I would have to say it's Christian Eriksen for Tottenham. And for Liverpool, I will pick Sadio Mane. I think those are the two best players in the teams, and I think that those are the two guys you can rely on when it counts. At least I would expect so. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed it, definitely hit the like button if you're listening on YouTube. Check us out on the various podcast formats. So I'm going to be trying to put that stuff together. I say it all the time, but I am actually trying to get to it. It's just a matter of figuring everything out and finding the time. Unfortunately, a very, very busy schedule to do everything. So thank you so much, guys, for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. And come on, you Spurs. Come on, fucking do it, baby. Fucking do it. This is cringe as shit, but fucking do it.